Hello, Time Maximizers. Thank you for being part of the Make It Happen program. My name is Dr. Ariane Weiner, and I will be your coach and facilitator over the next 4 weeks. Congratulations. By being here, you've already begun your commitment to reaching your goals around time management and get something done. Get it really done. I believe we are what we think. Small successes build our confidence and self-esteem and lead to larger successes. Many of those successes come from getting the important things done in our lives, the things we value most. I think Peter Drucker said it best. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. Over these next 4 weeks, we will explore that state of awareness in which every moment matters. The pressures of our family, jobs, and relationships can make us feel that we don't have enough time to do the things that are important to us, sometimes leading to a sense of being unfulfilled and out of time. This program is about knowing what is important to you and making things happen for you. It's really about the inner peace and well-being that comes from the successful results of having a new relationship with time. You will discover that we don't really get true fulfillment through time management, but rather living in the here and now. In this course, you will focus on developing yourself and identifying what is important to you and removing what is no longer serving you. This self-study learning opportunity allows you to complete the workshop at a time and pace that is convenient for you with guidance from me over the course of the next 4 weeks. Each Monday, you will get weekly audio insights like the one you are listening to now and inspiration from me, so you can listen when and where you'd like to help you get going right away. There will also be a few short written exercises sent to keep you focused and on track in the areas of time management. Consider them rewirement and exploration exercises. There will also be midweek check-in emails delivered on Wednesdays and Fridays to serve as quick check-ins and energizers to keep you going. In addition, you will be able to earn opportunities to gain laser coaching sessions from me to get you where you need to go more quickly. Feel free to email me directly anytime with questions and comments that you may have during our journey together. I'm a list person, and I can't think without a pen in my hand. Anyone who knows me sees that I've always got a piece of paper and a pen ready to write something down, as jotting something down just makes me feel better. You could say it's part of my lifeline. Every time I do, I get a moment and hear a sense of release, a mind cleanse, you could say, by being able to put what's in my mind on the paper to save for later. Each morning, I start out my day with a long list of things to do and prioritize them accordingly. We will learn about that later. What I do want to share with you is, even though after I write this list and am suddenly released from everything that's going on in my head, that wave of relief is often followed by, oh my gosh, this heavy feeling. There's so much to do, so little time, and only one of me to be everywhere, to do everything. We get too bogged down in the details and not spend enough time on the big picture. We need a strategic plan that we want for our personal and professional lives. Where do you want to be at the end of 2018? Can you see yourself? How does that feel? And what would it look like in 5 years and in 10? Here or somewhere else? If it's here, what's the road to your advancement? If it's elsewhere, what is it going to take for you to get there? Yes, these are hard questions, and you aren't going to find the answers to them overnight. But if you've made yourself too busy to ever take the time to think about them, you risk letting months and years fly by without reflection. David Allen, author of Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity, argues that even while we champion big picture thinking, we often let ourselves rack up too many small commitments that actually impair our ability to pan out and see the big picture. In his words, there's too much distraction at the day-to-day, hour-to-hour level of commitments to allow for appropriate focus on the higher levels. Much of what we need to do is to begin with the end in mind. It means to know where you're going so as to understand where you are now and to take your next step in the right direction. It's amazingly easy to get caught up in an activity trap in the business of life, to work harder and harder at climbing the ladder of success, only to discover what is leaning against the wrong wall. We may be very efficient by working fanatically and needlessly, but we will be effective only when we begin with the end result in mind. Instead of trying to fit all the things of our lives into the time allotted, as many time management plans do, our focus will be on enhancing relationships and achieving results. We all face the same dilemma. We are caught between the urgent and the important. Something urgent requires immediate attention. It's usually really visible. It presses on us, but may not have any bearing on our long-term goals. Important things, on the other hand, have to do with results. They contribute to our mission, our values, our high priority goals. We react to urgent matters. We often must act to get care of the important matters, even as urgent things scream for attention. Time management and having a new relationship with time will allow us to respond appropriately and live in that zone where we're not exasperated due to the fact that we're running out of time and depleted because we spend too much time doing the wrong things. To start managing time effectively, we need to set goals. When you know where you're going, then you can figure out what exactly needs to be done to get there. This is where the rubber meets the road. Without proper goal setting, you'll further your time away on a confusion of conflicting priorities. People tend to neglect goal setting because it requires time and effort and often, quote, they're too busy. They don't even have the time. What they fail to consider is that a little time and effort put in now saves an enormous amount of time, effort, and frustration in the future. So let's start with slowing down our brains. Habits that we have formed around time pressure and rushing to meet a deadline take a toll on our psychological and physical health. When you're too busy, there's a good chance you're sleeping less than you should and not getting the mental rest you need. That slows down your brain. The temporal lobe at the cerebral cortex helps process language. In studies, fully rested people show lots of activity in that part of the brain, while the sleep-deprived show little to no activity. And when our brain gets slow on the draw, we get less efficient at work and doing what we love most and living in our passion. New York Times writer Tim Kreider, in a post he called The Busy Trap, says idleness is not just justification, an indulgence, or a vice. It is as indispensable to the brain as vitamin D is to the body, and deprived of it, we will suffer a mental affliction as disfiguring as rickets. So hold up before you think, oh my gosh, what did I sign up for? She's telling me to sleep. I'm trying to get more time. When you are rested, you are able to do things more effectively, more efficiently, and you can be more present to the moment that you are living in. There is no quick fix to a busy life, obviously. Perhaps you need to pencil in a little idle time on your calendar, or you need to take a moment to reflect about why you're doing what you're doing. You could start by stopping even once in a while, relishing moments and creating idle moments in non-idle situations. Even on the busiest of weeks, taking an hour-long lunch break to go for a walk or read alone on a nearby park bench might be just secure for an otherwise crazy schedule and an overwhelmed mind. Or at least take your commute, for example, be it by car, bus, train, bike, subway. How about spending time every once in a while just thinking, not singing, not trying to raise your IQ, not reading the never-ending news cycle? There are days for that. But our minds, bodies, and even our careers depend also on our ability to hit the pause button. And then maybe we'll be refreshed enough to spot that inspiration we've been hunting for. Time management is an essential skill that helps you to keep your work under control. At the same time, it helps you keep stress to a minimum. We would all love to have an extra couple of hours in every day. Seeing as that is impossible, we need to work smarter on things that have the highest priority, and then creating a schedule that reflects our work and personal priorities. With this in place, we can work in a focused and effective way and really start achieving those goals, dreams, and ambitions we care so much about. So this week, make it happen. What is one thing you could do which you aren't doing now? That if you did do it, it would make a tremendous difference in your business and personal life. What adjustments are you willing to make to gain a sense of inner peace about time? Remember, we don't manage time. We can only manage ourselves. Instead of thinking, there's nothing I can do, I'll never have enough time, I'll never have enough resources, I'll never have, etc., think about what your alternatives are instead of thinking, hey, that's just the way I am. See what you can do to choose a different approach. Together, we're going to connect to the awareness that allows our mind and body to release daily tension so that it doesn't accumulate over time. We will also learn that the state of present awareness allows us to break out of our old habits. Use those rewirement exploration exercises as a guide to help you live in the now so that you can become free of the past conditioning that compelled you to think and feel that you don't have enough time. When you can raise your awareness back to the present and be open and see new possibilities and choices, even in the same old situations, you will move forward on a different path. Speak to you next week and look forward to learning more about how you are implementing change.